2024 is not over, although the fall is about to hit, which usually dominates most best of the year film lists. So it's always good before that starts to go over the best movies I've actually seen this year, so you can get to watching those before it feels like you can't because you got to watch all these Oscar movies or something. So here are, and I am going to have a number one, but I will list off of the movies I've seen this year what I think are the best ones. For some context, I think you know what I haven't seen, but I know I haven't seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and In a Violent Nature, which I have copies of but haven't watched yet. If there are other major movies that I haven't reviewed or haven't seen, please let me know, either in the comments of this or in the chat. And maybe I can see them or review them. One of them is actually on here, which I just need to shoot a review for, and I watched twice. And that would actually be Lisa Frankenstein. I actually quite like that movie. It's a cool new cult movie. I see more and more people talking about it, which just shows, it's interesting because it's a horror movie. Everyone involved creatively, is female, from Diablo Cody to Zelda Williams. I really quite like this movie. I think it's fun. I watched it with my wife, who's not a big horror movie person, and she really liked it. I've heard from both horror and non-horror people, which I think is we need more kind of transition films for horror in general, but I think it is definitely kind of becoming a new cult movie. Also, one film we're all forgetting about, the DreamWorks' Orion in the Dark, a Charlie Kaufman written DreamWorks movie. I've heard nothing about this since the movie weekend it came out. It's really good. I'm very surprised we don't hear more about it. It's a wonderful movie. I hope it doesn't get forgotten, but it feels like it probably is. I know this has become a meme on this stream, but I've got to mention Stop Motion, which is a horror movie where a stop motion animator starts getting haunted by the animation she is making. It's a really cool, interesting concept for a horror movie. It combines animation and horror in a really interesting, organic way. I highly recommend it. Another one that I think is sort of getting forgotten. I'm a little half and half on Inside Out 2. I did like it. I'm not sure if I want to put it on here, but I'm just going to mention it, I guess. I was very impressed by Dune Part 2. I thought it was so much better than the first one. I thought it was very good, basically showing someone manipulating their way into taking over the universe, basically. And Timothée Chalamet was great, as well as Challengers, which was a very amazing kind of soapy tennis movie with a great score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. The data was wonderful in it. It's sexy, it's fun, it's gossipy, it's wonderful. I think it's obvious, and you all know I really liked Furiosa. It is not my number one so far of the year, which when I've told people I'm surprised by. But I really, really thought it was really wonderful. I need to rewatch it, and it was quite the experience. I saw it the best way I could, and it's just a really great prequel, and all the Ad Max things are great. Hundreds of Beavers, I think is really probably one of the most creative comedies I've seen in a while, and definitely this year. Kind of a silent film comedy made in a modern way. I really quite like the style of this with, it's slapstick humor. It's kind of got weird, kind of funny Midwestern humor and silent film humor reinterpreted for a modern age, and probably the best way I've seen someone do a modern silent film thing. It is a really wonderful movie, and I highly suggest it. But I think one of the things about this part of the year that I really gotta say, trans filmmakers really had a major moment, particularly in, I guess, the early parts of the summer. And one of those films was The People's Joker, which I think if you are someone who likes media and is very media literate and is bouncing around different kind of forms, it's a very weird kind of low budget, very almost like a Channel Awesome movie in terms of its production value, but 100% works about someone reinterpreting a Vera Drew. Anyway, the filmmaker reinterpreting the origin of the Joker to be about her coming out story, I thought was, or her transition story, I thought was amazing. It's probably the most interesting superhero movie of this year. It's the best superhero movie of this year, and it's the smartest one, but it's also an insanely interesting and goofy movie, and in a very smart way. I think it is not for the average film goer. It's for people who are smart and love or are interested in media. And that's the other thing about both the trans films of this year. Both were very much like interpreting yourself through media and what that said about you and how much that had to do with your identity. And right now, I can say that I think what's the best movie of the year right now is I saw the TV Glow. I had an interesting relationship with this film in that the first time I watched it, I found all the references too obvious and I was like, I can guess that. And like, I was sort of like not getting into it as much. And as it went on, I felt like I needed to rewatch it. And the second time I rewatched it, it meant so much more to me. I was able to identify like things I had seen, I'm not trans or anything, and I know it is an allegory and about that, but I also think like that tape trading culture of like being obsessed with a show that none of your friends are watching, that, or the kids at school that really aren't your friends, but are insular within your own mind. It captured that so amazingly well, just kind of being trapped in your own little world while the rest of high school and society is going on, and none of them really understand what's going on within you. As like a very like kind of like isolated kid that way, I've not really related to a movie that much. I think sometimes when I pick a best movie of the year, it's a lot of times the film that affected me the most, and I 100% think I saw The TV Glow as the film that affected me the most. It's like the film I think about the most. I think it is the most daring. I thought it was the most interesting. It's a horror movie, but it's not a horror movie. It's about Buffy, but it's not. It's about Pete and Pete, but it's not. It's like so many things. Fred Durst is in it for some reason. Playing shitty Fred Durst. It's quite the experience. It's quite amazing, and I was very taken aback by it, and it really surprised me. And it's not often I see a movie a second time because I didn't feel like I fully grasped onto it. And this film, it really deserved it. I need to watch it again, and I really haven't stopped thinking about it. And also, the soundtrack is great. I think it is definitely one of the best movies of the 2020s, but also for me right now, the best movie of the year. Also, I think people were bringing up other movies I hadn't seen. I haven't seen Robot Dreams. Oh, Alien Romulus. I have not seen Alien Romulus yet, but I plan on. But yeah, those are what I find the best movies of 2024. I hopefully will catch up on other ones. Longlegs, Maxine, stuff like that. I hope soon. Sorry, it's hard to see stuff. Oh, I haven't seen Boy Kills World. Thank you, Nathaniel. Anyway, try to put these in the comments later. But those were what I consider the best movies I've seen, at least so far, in 2024. Honorable mentions, since they're shows, although I'll list shows in the next thing. X-Men 97, Smiling Friends Season 2, and My Adventures with Superman Season 2.